We'll show here again at Jerry's Music Shop. I'm going to talk about oiling a valve on the tuba. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen the valve and remove it from the casing. And then I'm going to take my valve oil and across the top of the valve I'm going to apply the oil. You don't want to put too much on. Just a little bit, and then you just hold it and let it drip down. And then reinsert the valve. Now, on most tubas, you're going to be dealing with what are called valve guides. This is white piece right here, and in the valve casing, there's a hole. You want to line those up so that the valve goes right in, and then just work it in. If you find that your valve is sticking even after doing that, one tip you could do is to flip the tuba over and remove the bottom of the valve, and work the valve in from the other end, and just twist it and move it in and out. And then replace the valve cap. Flip the tuba back over. And replace the valve. I would normally oil my valves maybe once a week, and in addition to that, as necessary. If something is sticking, then that would be the first solution I would go to. And next we're going to talk about greasing slides. So, first thing you want to do is get a rag to clean the slide. Whenever pulling slides from any brass instrument, you need to examine where that slide is going. I'm going to pull this slide, which you can see is connected to my first valve. So when I pull the slide, I want to push the first valve down. If you don't do that, you're going to get a pop, which once or twice probably isn't going to be very hurtful to your instrument, but over time that can damage the seals in the slides and in the valves. So the first thing I'm going to do is just wipe down my slides. And I'm going to take some grease and apply it to each slide. Like so. And then take the rag and just gently work it in. I'm not squeezing the slide to remove the grease. I am trying to spread it over the entire slide. Okay, and then I will press the first valve and replace the slide. As you can see, it's moving quite nicely. Some tubas aren't piston valve tubas, they're rotary tubas. So you have rotary valves, and some tubas are both. This tuba is both, and I have a rotor valve in here, and I'm going to show you how to oil. So first thing you want to do is remove the cap from the rotor. Take your rotor oil and apply oil to where the two metal discs are touching, and then just move the rotor to work the oil in. And then when you're done with that, replace the cap. And apply oil to all the places where there are moving parts on the top of the rotor also. And then move the rotor to work the oil in. It's easy. So every couple months or so, I would say twice a year, I like to give my tuba a bath. So the first thing I would do is I would take my tuba into the bathroom and disassemble it, which means taking out all the slides, taking off the valves, the bottom caps, and the valves themselves. I would remove the felts from the valves, and then put everything in a bathtub with lukewarm water and a little bit of soap. and I try to run the water through all the slides and in the tube itself and let it sit for a little while. And then I would drain the bathtub and run some warm water, and I would take a brush like this and work it through the valve casings on the tuba. And then I would take a brush like this to clean out the mouthpiece from both ends. And then I would take a snake, which will look like this, but maybe if you could find one with bigger brushes, that would be good. And run it through all of the slides in the tuba under the warm water. And then I'd rinse everything out and let it dry. And then oil all the valves and replace them, and then grease all the slides and replace them. That's something I do once every 6 months or so. So regular maintenance on a tuba is really important because, and like all instruments, because there are a lot of little things you can do that will keep your instrument functioning properly and also prevent larger issues. You should think about it a lot like your car. You bring it in for a tune-up every once in a while so that things don't go wrong.